Hello FPL managers and welcome back to another video from myself, Will, and fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. In this video we're going to be taking a look at 3 must-own players for Game Week 1. Before we do jump into it, if you are interested in dominating your mini league this season and joining thousands of other fantasy managers, then consider becoming a Fantasy Football Hub member. The one thing I'd like to point out here is the mobile app. Now that thing is so useful, especially if you're a mobile user, just having all of those fantasy tips and resources and tools at your fingertips. You know, when you're going to make that transfer, it's absolutely crucial if you want to do well at FPL. So if you are interested in joining the hub, I'll leave a link in the description and in the information card above. Okay, so before we do jump into this list, I just want to caveat it by saying I actually don't believe any player is sort of essential. You can do well in Fantasy Premier League by not having any of these players. It just makes it a hell of a lot harder, and I'm all about making the game simple and playing the obvious moves. And for me, these 3 players that I'm going to go over are absolutely locked into my side. They've been in every one of my drafts. So kicking things off then, of course, is Mo Salah. Liverpool didn't have a good season last time around. I'm expecting them to have a much better season this time around. You know, with Van Dijk coming back, I think that makes an impact, not just in defence, but also going forward and in attack. And despite Liverpool not having a good season last time, this man still bossed it. You know, he was 3rd for overall points, but he was actually ahead of Bruno Fernandez and Harry Kane for expected data and expected points, which suggests to me that he could have had even more points than he did last season. On top of that, he's got fantastic opening fixtures, starting the season with Norwich and Burnley. I would be terrified going into those games not having Mo Salah. He's probably going to be my captain for both of those games. So for me, he's a must-own pick. Next up on my must-own players list is this man, Trent Alexander-Arnold. As I mentioned, Van Dijk likely to come back in for Game Week 1. He's going to be bombing down that right flank. You've got Robertson bombing down the left flank. These two are absolute beasts. I wouldn't say that Trent is, you know, like an absolute 100% must-own. For me, he's been in every one of my drafts. But what I would say is that a Liverpool defender is definitely a must-own. And at the moment, I'm thinking about going into Game Week 1 with both Trent and Robertson. I think they're both fantastic picks. If you just look at some of his form towards the back end of last season, and, you know, you look at his expected goals, his expected assists, and, you know, these are the type of numbers which you would expect from a midfielder. And he's a defender, and Liverpool have fantastic fixtures, and they've got Van Dijk coming back. I mean, all the things are pointing towards the fact that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to have a really good start to the season. So for me, he's absolutely locked in, and I can't see myself not starting with him in Game Week 1. Okay, third and final on my list is none other than Bruno Fernandez. Now, I know that a lot of people are actually shifting their attention away from Bruno Fernandez and going for Sancho. For me, you know, Bruno Fernandez, he was the highest scoring player last season. He's on penalties. Manchester United have fantastic opening fixtures. There just isn't a big enough reason for me not to have him in my side. Yes, I know Sancho is, you know, a shiny new thing and he's exciting to own and he could start well. But for me, I'm just going to go for Fernandez. He's a proven fantasy football beast that just churns out FPL points week in, week out. And unlike Bruno Fernandez, Sancho's minutes are not guaranteed. You know, he has got competition for those places. Solskjaer might decide to ease him in. But Fernandez, he's the 90-minute man. He's on those penalties, which, you know, some people say, you know, if you take Bruno Fernandez penalties away, he doesn't actually score that many points. Well, he kind of still does. And also, you know, you can't just take someone's penalties away. He gets a lot of penalties because United are good at winning penalties. You know, they've got a lot of fast attacking wingers, which create a lot of penalties for Manchester United. Now, I know he got a lot of penalties towards the start of last season when, you know, VAR was giving him penalties for everything. But for me, I still think United are going to pick up a lot of penalties, and Bruno Fernandes is 100% locked into my team. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you disagree with any of these picks, let me know in the comments. And if there are any other must-own picks which you think I should have included in this video that I haven't, then let me know in the comments. But otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.